My mother is a wonderful woman. You know, I'm Jamaican. My mom's Jamaican. And she invested a lot into myself and my sister. Shout out my sister. Um, and you know, she's West Indian. She's Caribbean. She's a very particular way of living. And you know, I think that me growing up here in Canada, but besides growing up here, I'm also queer. So when I came out, it was a big adjustment. I think that people coming to terms with it now, being older, I think that people forget that like coming out to your family, especially like being Caribbean, like it's not just me coming out and saying I'm gay. It's also like saying like for my mom, like she's gay, like. You know what I mean? Like, it's like her own journey as well, right? Like, I have to go into these rooms, have these conversations. My kid's gay. Like, people are asking me why. Like, it's such a crazy question. We were like, why? What happened? And so, like, I feel like she didn't know how to handle it. And so, the scare tactic, like, well, get out. And, I'm a Leo. First of all, anyone who's ever met me, don't tell me to do something, because I'll do it, right? And so I don't really think that, like, as I've gotten older, that she intended for me to not be at home with her and not. But, when she told me to get out, I was kind of like, cool, I'm out. And so, there was a lot of contention and, like, we didn't really get along because she didn't understand it. And, I didn't understand why she didn't understand it. Because prior to this moment in my life, like, best childhood ever, like greatest mom, like anything I did, like if I stole I would tell her, if my sister stole of course I would tell her, right? But like just super understanding, super there for us. My mom was an entrepreneur, so she brought us to work with her all the time. I went to school with her, like I did everything with my mom. And so up to this moment, like completely different experience, so I was really taken aback by it. And I also think I didn't respond to it well. And just everything, like every other gay kid I knew was like their parents didn't understand it, and so like they were out their house. So I also felt like it was a part of the identity, like what I mean, like all the journey. Exactly. So exactly. So I'm out the house, and I'm learning to survive, right? And so went through a lot of different things, different traumatic things, or whatever the case may be. But like back in and out between my mom and I, trying to like reconcile, right? So I would go to her house, and then I would not be in her house. And once you leave your house at like 14, like I'm 16 now, I feel like I'm a boss, you know what I mean? You can't tell me come home at 9 o'clock, like, bro, I lived on the bus till 1 a.m. like you know what I mean, like you can't tell me that. And so it was really, really hard, like trying to like be a kid again in her house. And so like from there, like we just had to like kind of just be two adults. And so we've never really, to be out of your house that young and like to start that journey that young, like we're still on the journey of like trying to reconcile, but it's gotten harder as of late,
Really?
Yeah.
Why? You would think it would get easier.
I think it's gotten harder because I'm more frustrated, right? And so like I'm almost 30 years old, and like you're still weird about me being gay. You're not weird about it, but like
it's still uncomfortable between you two.
Well, like long story short, like there's no way my girlfriend could sleep at my mom's house with me, but also there's no way my sister's husband could sleep in the same.
Okay.
So it's like she's just a strict lady, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's the lady where you iron your pants to go to bed. So that's my mom though, and I love and appreciate her, but it is hard. I think that a lot of times like people see me and they're like, man, you're super successful, but like that's the area of my life I'm the least successful in, and I'm always trying to like understand how to be more successful at it. But it takes a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and people don't really want to talk about it. And like people don't want to, like I posted the other day, I was super frustrated with my mom. I posted the other day on social media like how upset and hurt I was, and like people were just like, don't talk about your mom like that. And I was like, well, I wasn't putting her down, I was just like sharing my experience of like how hurt I am right now, and so I think it's hard, like people don't know how to reconcile, like, you're a great mom. Like, if I call my mom right now and I'm like, yo, Toni Francis is being disrespectful to me, my mom will come here right now and, like, care for me and be there for me, If I break down on the side of the road, my mom's gonna come pick me up 3 a.m., 4 a.m. But, like, there's just some things that are just really hard to reconcile. And it's like, how do you balance those two things, you know what I mean? I think just in general in society right now, like if Tony's like really nice to me one day and then mean to me the other day, like we haven't learned coping skills for like both sides of the coin, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm still learning that.
What are your goals, I guess, because it's not the entertainment industry, which you've kind of devoted a lot of time to, what?
My goal honestly is to become so successful in
Okay.
entrepreneurship.
Okay.
So
I thought you were gonna say some bullshit. Just be a successful.
No. I own Sandbox, obviously. And I have more than one location, and I also am a co-owner of another business silently, and I partner a lot silently with smaller businesses coming up. I buy businesses, I acquire them. Yeah, so my desire is to build myself an empire where I don't have to work. Like, I don't have to work now. Like, I choose to work because I want to keep pushing and I want to keep building. And, you know, I would like for myself to be able to buy everybody in my house a property, you know? And, like, so my goal is financial freedom, of course, on, like, the plentiful. I would like to be a millionaire by the time I'm 30. And I do believe that through acquiring small businesses and continuing to open up these businesses, I'll be able to do that. I'm like 2 years away from that, and you know, I think that it's very possible without being, you know, too you know, I don't want people to tweet that like, oh, I watched Toni's interview with Rookz, and Rookz is like, you know, like people, I don't know, man. Toronto's just is a weird place. Like, yo, you watch Gary V's videos, and Gary V's like, I'm a billionaire, and you know what? Just get your shit together. And if I'm out here like, bro, why are you telling me you want to be a photographer and you've never touched the camera?
Right.
Brooks, why are you a dream killer? What? Like, I'm just realistic. Like, I just feel like, yo, going back to, like, what's my goal? There was, like, a time where I only wore New York Yankees hat. And people would always be like, why are you only wearing this Yankee hat? And I'd be like, because I have a Yankee state of mind. Like, I see myself, like, for real, like a mogul, like the way Jay-Z and all these guys have moved, like, I've just learned as I've matured to move more silently. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know, like, I just feel like the mind frame here is, like, always, like, so passive. Like, Canada in general, they're a very passive place financially, right? Like, you gotta spend big money to make big money. So, yeah, my overall goal is to be a millionaire in the next 2 years. Then, after that, I'll have enough money to what I wake up and see myself doing every day is going and talking to people about their lives and just how to make it better and financial freedom. Like,
Gary V? Like a Gary
I would love to be Gary V. Yeah. I want to be the black Gary V. I'm so inspired by him. Every single day, first of all, my regular day, I wake up, I stretch. After I stretch, I listen to some sort of inspirational video, and then I listen to a podcast every single day. That's my morning routine. I listen to TED Radio Hour, and I listen to How I Built This. How I Built This is, like, hands down my favorite podcast. I re-listen to interviews, you know what I mean? Because it reaffirms for me that, like, when my credit card's maxed out, this is a part of the process, you know what I mean? When I run out of capital, this is a part of the process. When I have to fire somebody, this is you know what I mean? And when I'm messing up, I think that those podcasts keep me accountable. So 100%, I want to be Gary Vee. I think there's such a huge disconnect between, you know, what black kids are hearing and, like, just black people in general and money and the rest of the world. You know what I mean? Like, as much as I just learned about Gary Vee, and I look how long I've been an entrepreneur. Like, I think sometimes we forget, like, culturally we all need those figures. You know what I mean? And, like, a lot of the people who've gotten money in our culture, like, just makes us want to get money in a weird way. Like, I don't want to inspire people to be a consumer. Like, look at me. Like, I'm not going to wear Louis and Gucci and Fendi, and it doesn't matter. I want people to look at me and be, like, financially responsible. You know what I mean? Like, even at the businesses I own, there is a rule. If your shoes cost more than $100, change them. I don't want young people to come into Sandbox ever and see people wearing things that they feel like they need to have that. Like, I'm not a part of pushing the consumer agenda. I really want to inspire people to own stuff and to have wealth, like real wealth, not like your car's balling. Like, you can make $10 an hour and drive a Jaguar if you want to spend all your money on a car, if you want to spend the next 20 years paying for a car. But real wealth is understanding that, yo, it makes more sense to lease a car every single year and get a new car and spend that extra $200-$300, right? To get a new car every year because they decrease in value, than going and buying, yo, I just spent 40 racks on this Beamer. Why? Why would you do that? Like, why would you ever? You could have bought a business, you could have bought a property, and so, like, I just really want to be more vocal about that. So even in this year that's coming, that is what, like, my whole mantra, I don't know if you know, if you follow me on social media, like, is create your fate. Like, there's no reason in the world anybody Anybody has to be poor. And once people really understand that, then your life changes.